Hello, I'm Barbara Hackman. I'm at the Conservation Education Center at F.W. Kent County Park. With me is Larry Lovetinsky, and he is the superintendent of
Field and shop operations.
Field and shop operations. And today we're going to be talking about the bridges. Welcome, Larry.
Thank you.
Or how do I say that? Because you're in your own venue.
Well, I should welcome you then.
It's good to be here, and been here many times because this is my favorite park of all time.
Well, thank you.
And without further ado, I will say we are going to talk about the bridges, and I don't even know where to start, except that when I've been around the lake many times walking on all of the bridges, and then recently, within the past, I guess, 2 years, I saw the signs. And that adds so much more to it. Each bridge has its own sign. And so I'd like to talk about that also. But maybe first, the inception of the idea of the bridges here. Who first thought of it?
Rod Dunlap, who was the director at that time, came up with the idea of salvaging some of the bridges that were being taken out of the county road systems at that time. And that was in the mid to late 70s that we started acquiring some of those bridges. They sat in a storage lot for a number of years, and around 1993, funding was available and we had our trail system. We started installing them around the lake at that time.
Tell me a bit about the trail around the lake.
It's 1.4 miles around the lake. When we and we get a lot of compliments about that trail. Everybody likes to walk. It's good for you.
Yes, Rose at the office walks around it, doesn't she?
Even our own employees.
Your own employees. Well, she's the one that told me about the great blue heron. There's a great blue heron in F.W. Kent Park. If I were going to tell anyone to walk around the lake, I would say start at the biggest bridge, the High Truss Bridge, and walk counterclockwise, and you'll cover them all. Except, now that's around the lake, but there's a new one that was put in September.
Correct.
And there's a lot about that on this program also, and which people will see, but we could talk a little bit about when it comes to putting a bridge in. Is that where you'd like to start, or would you start where?
Would you like to know about what we go through in the process? Okay. When the county makes a decision that they're going to replace a bridge, what they would do is they'll put it out for bids. And in the stipulation that they have in those bids is that the contractor has to work with us to help us remove that bridge and load it. So we'll get it loaded up and we'll bring it back to the park, and then what we do is we narrow them up, because most of your bridges are 16 to 18 feet wide for vehicular traffic.
Right, 2 lane.
So we narrow them up down to 10 foot, still wide enough we can get some of our equipment across it. And at that time we also make any necessary repairs that there might need to be made to them. Some of them have more needs as far as repairs than others. Some don't need any repairs really for what we're using them for. And then we'll select a site, and we go out there and prepare the site, and we pour bridge abutments for it. And then usually, for instance, that one, we took it down there in pieces and placed it and put it together in pieces and got a crane out there, which you have video of, to install it. And then after it's installed with the crane, we come in and we install the bridge decking and stuff on it. So it's pretty much ready for the public by that time when we get the handrails and stuff on it.
Right. And they are bridges from county roads, various county roads.
Correct. They're all ones that have been removed from the county road systems in this county.
Right. And I'm so glad somebody's saving them.
Well, I am too. You know, I'm from a generation, and when I was a kid, I played on them a lot, and they have a lot of sentimental value. And it's amazing how many people we have that will pull into the park and say, "Hey, where's that bridge that was on my road?" You know, because they knew it came out here. And we'll tell them where it's at and stuff, and they'll tell about stories that they played on them as kids and stuff like that.
Oh,
So it's
that's
really
good.
neat.
Yeah. And the first one was installed in 1993. And then, there are 7 around the lake.
Correct. We the first 2 years, 93, 94, we installed most of them around the lake. The last one we installed in the lake was at High Truss. That's the one we flew in with the helicopter, and that was done in 1996, if I remember right.
Yes, that High Truss Bridge, that's what I always think of as a starting point, my starting point for the walk around
Oh,
the
is it?
lake. I go counterclockwise, and I start from that point, and when I started to tape them, the bridges, which will be part of this program, I started with that one. And when I went out, I thought, well, I'm taping a bridge installation, and I was impressed at how well the group worked together.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to have the opportunity to work with the staff that works together that well. We've done these bridges for so long that, the left hand knows what the right hand is doing, so to speak. And it goes very smoothly when you have that kind of a situation. It's very enjoyable too.
And it did indeed go smoothly. As I say, I had no idea, and there it was. So I have all this good footage, which I'm still working at editing, but it's going to be a nice program.
Well, you mentioned something about the bridge signs.
Oh, yes.
The bridge signs is an idea that we came up with here. We wanted to do something that was unique and not just a post with a sign on it. We wanted to have something that would kind of fit with the bridges. And Harry Graves, the director, was able to locate a bridge that was destroyed down in southern Iowa that we were able to get those parts from, so we still have the same period, time period type of metal and stuff to use on it. And we came up with the idea of, maybe making it look like it was actually part of a bridge that was cut off, and we put a sign on it, and they've fit in extremely well. We take a lot of effort in those signs and in any of our bridge reconstruction and repairs to make sure that everything is done as accurately as possible.
And also, there is one bridge, now is it a bowstring arch bridge that really wasn't a bridge at all?
Oh, you're talking about the roof truss bridge, yes.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
It mentions that on the sign. I was surprised at that, too.
Yeah, that was actually came from the corner of Madison Street and Burlington. There was a business there one time. I kind of remember it as a kid. I think it was a car dealership that was there. And that's where those actually came from.
Yeah.
Now, the bowstring bridge that, that you mentioned a little bit ago, that's actually one of my favorite. That is there's 3 of those style bridges identical to that, except that they're a little larger, at the Fort Laramie Historical Site that are on the National Historic Register. And out of all the bridges that we have in Camp Park, that one took the most extensive renovation repairs. When we actually got that bridge, it was cut up into pieces, so we had to do an awful lot of work into it and replace rivets and stuff like that. But if you go and look at it today, you can't tell where the repairs are, and that's what we want.
Yeah. Well, it makes a very enjoyable walk around the park, and the photo ops are great also. So I want to go out to the bridge that was put on last September and take a picture of it now, because the flooring wasn't in at that point. It wasn't put on that time. It was put on later.
We'll say they are one of our favorite projects to do out here. It's one of the projects that the guys just live for. Doing those kind of things is kind of a unique thing to Camp Park, and
it is.
We're very proud of it.
Are there bridges being saved other places that you know of?
You mean in other parts of the state and things like that? Yeah, that's actually started to pick up a lot. I get probably 2-3 phone calls a year from different agencies that are trying to save some of these old bridges. It's really something that I think the public has turned around and said that, hey, when these are gone, they're gone.
That's right.
And it's nice to see them put into some kind of use, like in a park system. We're fortunate that with the staff we have and our resources as far as equipment stuff, we can put these bridges in for a very reasonable price compared to contracting out. You're probably talking about 1,000% increase in what it would cost to have somebody else put them in. I mean, it'd be astronomical.
So I think our thanks would go to Kent Park too, and the people that save these bridges.
Well, thank you.
It's good, yeah. And I would tell people watching this come to Kent Park and walk around the lake counterclockwise. Now, you can walk whichever way you want to, but it's a wonderful walk, and spring, summer, fall, anytime, it's beautiful. And my guest is Larry Lovetinsky, shop superintendent.
Superintendent of Field and Shop Operations.
Superintendent of Field and Shop Operations at FW Kent County Park. Good morning.
Get out of your way here shortly.
But I wanted you in the picture.
Too bad the last one not too.